Welcome back to Cooking is Coping. I'm Jeff Zimmerman, a stand-up comedian that nobody has ever heard of, who cooks to process anxiety and nerves and all kinds of stress. And Lord knows there's enough of it out there right now. Let's get into it, and then we're going to make some soup. I have been choosing to deal with the grief that I'm feeling for the world I miss so badly by fighting with conspiracy theorists online all week. I don't feel the tiniest bit better, but I do feel like I'm doing my part in some way. Here's the real conspiracy, okay, man? Every time a conspiracy theorist posts links to QAnon or Pizzagate or 5G or fluoride in Alka-Seltzer or whatever they're onto now, it's a big smokescreen that distracts us from the fact that their mattresses are touching the floor. We got sloppy sleepers out here masquerading as normal people with their lives together. They walk among us and they're posing as people whose opinions matter, and we got to put a stop to it, okay? So here's what I need you to do. Every time you see a conspiracy theory being posted, here's what you got to do. You got to shine the light on these idiot vampires, okay? You need to demand that they post a photo of themselves sitting on their bed right then and there, possibly holding something that shows the time and date while sitting on it, okay? And if that mattress is touching the floor, you got them, all right? They'll never do it. They'll never do it because they know you're onto them, okay? They're going to say, oh, no, they'll tell you where they sleep, sure, but they will never show you. And then once they show the picture of them sitting on the bed, how do you know that's really their bed? How do you know they're not just in their parents' room or at their friend's house, right? No, you got to go one deeper. You got to see an itemized receipt from like mattress discounters or maybe a Venmo transaction history with the word headboard in it somewhere, okay? You got to chase these people out into the sunshine, show us who they really are, and then, maybe then, we can see our families, we can get our lives back together, and we can return to normal and stop pretending that idiots make sense. I don't know, that's what I got. I'm all worked up. Now, I'm going to show you how to take that beef broth that we made last week, and if you weren't here for last week's, that's fine, but basically, it's late. I've been fighting with people on the internet all day. I'm hungry. My fiance's hungry. She wants to make dinner. I don't want to make dinner, but I'm going to just do what I can with the broth that I have around. I got a bunch of stuff in the fridge to use up that's going to, it's getting iffy, but we can make a delicious soup with it, and you're going to feel so creative and special, and each bowl is a one-of-a-kind experience. This is how people really do it. So let's take a look in the fridge. We're just going to go in here and rummage around, pull out a bunch of stuff that I'm going to throw together in a soup. This is really all you got to do. You don't need a whole recipe to make a whole bunch of soup. You just need some broth and some stuff that you need to get rid of. So let's go. Got some carrots, Napa cabbage. It's getting a little iffy, but it still feels fairly turgid, so we'll put it in. Celery, lemongrass. It's getting a little papyrus-like, so in it goes. Ugh. Wait, is this? Yeah, this is that basil. There's a couple of usable leaves in here. Basil, we can use that. This asparagus has had it. We're not doing that. Get a big old jar of kimchi when you can. Put it in the back of your fridge. Forget all about it, and then, man, when you need it, it's there. We're gonna use this. This old, messed up looking thing. I roasted a pork last week. Made a pork roast, and I got this bone. We're gonna boil some meat off of that. You're gonna love it. Garlic for sure. Noodles, beef broth. You gotta label your beef broth with the date so you know what you're working. You gotta label this beef broth with the date so you know what you're working with. I like a little gochujang to put in there too. Listen, you'll see me with the gochujang, with the kimchi. You know, look, I love Korean food, but I love Korean food in New York the way that white women from the South love reggae, right? Deeply, powerfully, but with minimal understanding of what's really going on in there, okay? I like the flavors. I keep coming back to them. I'm not trying to pretend this is part of some tradition I have, okay? I would welcome the education, but I'm not seeking it out either. Last but not least, we got hot peppers here. They're getting a little squishy, but there's a couple of good ones. So here's our ingredients, right? They're right there laid out on the floor. Our ingredients are on the floor because I was just on the floor, okay? Calm down. The health department has no dominion in my kitchen. And plus, we're going to boil all of this stuff, and it's going to be fine. So just quit your, I don't know what, just stop it. Just unwrap that pork bone and throw it in. There's 2 cups of beef broth, 2 cups of water. Went with another cup of beef broth, another cup of water. Then I found some fresh ginger. You want to chop that up to use for sure. Chop your carrots, and you want the chunks to be big enough to hold up in the soup as you cook them and not just totally turn to mush. Chop up your Napa cabbage. 2 big old spoons of gochujang. Get it in there. Cut your celery, again, thick enough so it doesn't dissolve into a fibrous mush. Chop up an entire onion. It is so satisfying, the sound of the knife right here, isn't it? Just listen. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Listen to that knife. The garlic sounds like purring. Just like a knife purring. It's something that feels so good. Forgot to show myself chopping these hot peppers. Here's some hot peppers. Put them in. I'm going to let your bone boil in the broth where it looks like this for a good hour or so, and then start putting your vegetables in there. But it takes too long because I started at 11 o'clock at night. So I got to finish this off in the Instant Pot. Let it go for 20 minutes. You're good. While this thing is cooking, I just wanted to show you a couple of things I'm going to put in here to sort of jazz it up at the end. Kimchi. Put in a little soy sauce. I'm going to put some fish sauce in there. And I don't like to cook the fish sauce in there. I like to add it right at the end. It smells bad if you did not grow up eating it. But when you put it into something, it just enhances all of those flavors. It gives it a tang and a funk and a wow. And you'll notice it if it's not there once you get used to it. It's great stuff. Then I'm going to top it with these basil leaves. I had a whole lot of more basil in there, but it was really getting pretty rotten. So this is just the good stuff I picked off. And that's what we're doing. So to serve this, take whatever noodles you made, put them in the bowl with the kimchi, top it with the soup, hit it with the soy sauce and the fish sauce, little basil on top, and I like to toss the noodles out for presentation's sake, and that's it. You're done. That's it for this week's Cooking is Coping. Thank you so much for checking in. Thank you for sending in your questions. I cannot answer the questions this week. This thing has taken me way too long as it is, but I'm going to save them. I'll answer them next week. If the rest of you guys have any questions, send them to me at cookingiscoping@gmail.com. Please subscribe, like, share, follow, do everything you can. I'm trying to get this thing out there, and for God's sake, wash your hands and stay safe and stay home.